If you watched my last video, you know how much it hurt not having a spot on my Warlock. Well, this time it happened again. No spot on my old guild's main progression. Then, without any warning, the guild just went on a break. No message, no heads up, we just found out. But honestly, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I wanted more anyway. I was ready to step up in a higher difficulty content. So I started to look around, not just for any guild to fill a spot. I wanted somewhere that actually wanted me there. And then, out of nowhere, an opportunity showed up that I wasn't expecting at all. That opportunity was proper progress, and last night it happened. I got a spot, but let me back up because how I actually got here is a story worth telling. The first person I have to talk about is my dear friend Bettina. Before any of this, he was the one who helped me reforge my Affliction Warlock properly and taught me how to sim and getting real data instead of just guessing at gear and stat priorities. Somewhere along the way, I found out he'd been raiding with proper progress for a long time. My old guild had practically died by that point, so I asked him straight up, were proper progress recruiting? That question ended up changing everything. Next up is Pats, our guildmaster, main tank, and raid leader. Bettina's the one who introduced us. Funny enough, Pats plays a brewmaster monk, the same spec I had to prove myself on back in my last video. Small world. What stood out most about him so far is how efficient he is. The second a boss dies, one person stays behind to sort loot out, and Pats is already pulling, keeping the raid moving. No downtime, no wasted time, straight to the point, always pushing progression forward. And last, but definitely not least, Liz, the Holy Paladin. And when I say the Holy Paladin, I mean it. Liz has 8, not 1, not 2, 8 healers. 4 of them are paladins. If you know, you know. Getting to raid along someone at that level isn't something I take for granted. It's honestly part of what made this whole move feel worth it. But meeting these people was only half of it. The only half was everything they actually taught me. First up, Pummel. One of the best warlocks in the world, actually, and someone I've learned a ton from. He's a streamer, and I tend to follow every top warlock player I can find, not just to copy what they do, but actually understand why they do it. Pummel's the one who helped me perfect 2 things: my rotation and something called snapshot. For anyone who doesn't play a warlock, snapshotting is timing your cooldowns and buffs so they're active at the exact moment you want to apply your dots. Because those dots then keep that bonus damage locked in for the entire duration, even after the buff wears off. Getting the timing wrong and you're leaving real damage on the table without even realizing it. That's the kind of small, precise detail Pummel helped me with and understand, not just do. Next, Kais. Another top warlock in the world. He didn't teach me directly, but I ended up copying his UI setup, which shows exactly how much damage your dots will deal if you snapshot them at that exact moment. It's the kind of tool that turns snapshotting from a concept you understand into something you can actually see and react to in real time. And last, Bettina again. You already know him from earlier, but his help didn't stop at getting me into the guild. He's still helping me now, working on my strat priority and making sure my reforging is actually correct, not just close enough. Between Pommel, Kais, and Bettina, I didn't get this far on my own. Every bit of progress has someone else's fingerprints on it somewhere. But it's like Pommel said, at the end of the day, it's all up to you. I am but a gentle nudge in the right direction. And that is completely right. But knowing that and actually proving it in a raid are two very different things. In my last video, I talked about the 3 questions I had to answer before I could call my monk my main. Could I tank, heal, and hold my own on damage? Joining proper progress meant answering a new version of that same question. Not about a role this time, but about whether I actually belonged at this level at all. My first raid with them, I was nervous, genuinely nervous. Looking around, every single person in that raid had already proven they belonged. World rankings, years of experience, real credentials. And then there was me. It was heroic difficulty, no easing into it. So I did the one thing I could. I lied to myself. All the way from Fallen Protectors up until Galacrus, I keep telling myself, this is normal. This is normal difficulty. In order to relax enough to play correctly. And for some unknown reason, it worked. Bit by bit, it went smoother. By the back half of the raid, I wasn't thinking about being the new guy anymore. I was just raiding. Looking at where that first raid started versus where I am now, the difference is honestly kind of wild. Then, I knew what snapshotting was, but couldn't execute it perfectly. And in my old guild, I was the guy without a spot. In my new one, I was lying to myself just to get through a heroic raid without falling apart. Now, snapshotting is second nature, and I've got to see that the main progress team of a top 250 guild in the world. I don't need the lie anymore. However, I still need to tell myself that I belong here and that I'm worthy of raiding with my new friends in my guild. And when I sit back and think about how I actually got here, looking back at everything, Bettina, Pats, Liz, Pommel and Kais. None of this happened because I did it alone. It happened because I let people help me. And because I was willing to prove myself again, even when it was uncomfortable. I'm not going to pretend I've fully arrived. I still catch myself doubting whether I belong in that raid. But I show up anyway, and maybe that's the actual answer. Not that the nerves go away, but you mentally prepare for the worst, and if the worst doesn't happen, then you did what you could. The last video ended with me still on trial. This one ends with me still growing. I think that's exactly how it's supposed to be. remember to take care of yourself. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.